Wow, this is another privileged opportunity that I have to be in your various lives today. I want to appreciate you for listening, watching. Please invite others. We're going to have a blast today. We're talking about in-laws and outlaws. I'm sure somebody is wondering, why do they call them outlaws? Well, when you are getting married, there's a law that guards marriage. And when the law is not admitted to the other party that is in the system, it's only you and your husband, you and your wife, and your kids. The moment there's a third party that is not part of the law that is established for marriage, they become an outlaw. We're talking about toxic in-laws. When you say something is toxic, it's not healthy, it makes you uncomfortable, it stresses you, it makes you feel a level of unwellness. You are not feeling well, you are not feeling comfortable, you are trying to, live. You're not living, your health is not sound. I remember recently I had to do a proper detoxification because of the fact that I was feeling a little bit, unhealthy. And having detoxed, I've been feeling very well. I have this sense of wellness now that I feel I'm 15, even though I'll be 60 next year. And that's the beauty of, having to be able not to have toxin in your system. So detoxification is important if you want to enjoy your relationship with your spouse. Now, let me lay a foundation of what I want to say today. Very important. We are living in a culture and a system that can be very, very toxic, especially when the whole air and atmosphere is saturated with funny impressions. Welcome back, welcome back. I apologize for the break in transmission. Well, we don't have a choice. We're trying to put the best. I believe so much in excellence. I believe so much in putting the best in whatever I do. And we're trying to make sure the internet is perfect. I apologize for that. Please tell your friends it's going to be powerful today. Toxic in-laws. We need to know our limits. We need to know why our in-laws are what they are, what they're doing, why they act the way they do. I said something. I said it's important to detoxify. The moment you know that you're not feeling comfortable in any relationship, whether in-laws or outlaws, even friendship, association, marriage, the moment you are feeling the weight of discomfort in that relationship, you need to detoxify. And I'm bringing this topic in because I know that a lot of people have been, beaten and battered and shattered in the name of my in-laws, my brother-in-law, my sister-in-law, my mother-in-law, my father-in-law. Well, all those ones, they are outlaws because when you guys are getting married, they only gave their signature, their appendix. They're not supposed to be part of your life. Like, living in your nose, having to be part of your life. They need to allow you to breathe in fresh air. Thank you for joining. Thank you, everybody, for joining. The network has been very good, and I'm just speaking what I want to see. But we're still going to enjoy ourselves tonight. It's going to be powerful. Thank you for joining. Thank you, everyone, for joining me tonight. It's going to be really, really good. Now, I said something. I said, if you're not careful, whatever is being aired, said everywhere, talking about the social media, our movie industry, the drama, everywhere, give us a wrong impression, and it's very strong when it comes to in-laws. So some of us, before we actually got into marriage, we're already prejudiced, we're already biased. We've just said to ourselves, I'm going to put everybody at an arm's length. I'm married to my wife, I'm married to my husband. It's me, I, and my husband, only, alone and alone. And because of that, you're not even allowing the warmth, the embrace, the love, the affection that is trying to show to you, all in the name of, probably they don't want me before. Maybe you've overheard that, this particular girl, I don't think I want to really go into marriage, or my son or my daughter, or her brother, we don't want this girl. My sister, my sister, I don't want this boy. I don't really want this girl. No, probably you overheard, maybe they are not comfortable with you, and because of that, you just go into that relationship, that marriage, with prejudice or with biases. I want to let you know that it's normal for you not want to be accepted at the beginning, because everybody wants to protect their territory. Because when you are coming into a family, is a territory invading. You are invading somebody's privacy. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. You are invading somebody's privacy, and you don't want to be there. They don't want to see you as not adding to the family. They don't want to see you as a subtraction. They want to see you as an addition. They want to see you as someone that you're going to add color and beauty and flavor. And that's why people ask, what did you bring to the table? They want you to bring out the best and make the best out of the person you're getting married to. If that is not there, they are always afraid. Everybody's afraid to bring in a new life to their lives when it comes to relationship and marriage. But what I'm saying is, if they now said, okay, we are not comfortable with you, probably the first impression, the first impression really matters a lot. And maybe your first impression was kind of unwelcoming. Maybe you're not warm. Maybe you are menstruating. You are not in your mood, or you are not in the very good mood. And, there was this kind of tension. They might create a bias and get prejudiced about your relationship with them in the family, and because of that, gossips goes down everywhere. People are talking, that girl, you notice that she has an attitude, she's not nice, she's not warm, and all of that. But now that you are married, can I just tell you something? Calm down and make a decision to detoxify their mental belief, what they have in mind about you and against you. That is why when you are going into any relationship, you must be positive, you must be proactive, you must be ready to, welcome change, new ideas, welcome everybody, be good, be nice, be real. Don't act, don't wear a mask, don't be I want to look for a dramatist, don't pretend, don't act, because you cannot act for long. After some time, welcome, thank you everybody for joining. Please spread this news, let everybody watch this. Is very important. Now, having detoxifying yourself, knowing fully well that, well, plus or minus, they like me, they don't like me, they want me, they don't want me. Now I'm married. Don't go into marriage having it at the back of your mind that everybody in your family, in your husband's or your wife's family, is toxic. When you have it at the back of your mind like that, there is nothing they can do that will make them feel loved or make you feel accepted. We need to be factual about this. The moment you have your prejudice, you have your biases, you have made up your mind about what and who loves you and who does not love you, and you keep going in that circle, honestly, there is nothing you can do. There's nothing anybody can do that will make you or make the person welcome. You will just find out that you are meeting a roadblock because you are being biased already. So remove biases, remove prejudice. Honestly, if you do that, at the end of the day, you may not even have any reason to explain anything to anybody. You just, flow into the family, and you have synergy, you have oneness, and everything goes the way it is wanted. That is one. Now, I want to zero it on the mother-in-law today. Probably I will do part 2 or part 3. It depends on, how many questions we have and how many of us are really, really having fun following this program. Don't forget, my Instagram handle is funkeadetuberu. Share. My YouTube channel is funkeadetuberu. Please share, like, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Let's make it grow. Let's make it work. And there's so much to learn. Even in that channel, we have so many things we have put in there. You can always listen. Now, let me explain this to every one of us. Getting into marriage, you have to understand the dynamics of the family system. If your husband is the only son out of 5 girls, honestly, when you are getting married to that man, you are not marrying one man. You are marrying the man and his mom. So 2 wives are going. You have the first wife, your mom, the mother-in-law. Your mother-in-law is the first wife, then you are the second wife. Can you just understand that? to avoid any story that will touch. Have it at the back of your mind that this woman is the only son. Is the only son. Note that. Or is the only child. Only son, only child. Those are the things you must understand. That's why I tell people, do premarital counseling. Let us train you on how to handle in-laws and outlaws. Let us teach you, let us teach you on how to relate with people that are in your life when you get married, people that are in your lives, your husband, your wife, your in-laws, both sides. Then I said it at the section before we had this network laws, that when it comes to in-law thing or having to do with extra people that comes into marriage, in-laws and outlaws, please, it is not gender based. We have issues with father-in-law, we have issues with mother-in-law. Both people have issues with each other. Then also we have issues with our sister-in-law and brother-in-law. So please don't zero it on a woman alone. That's why I'm starting with the mother-in-law. I'm going to come to the father-in-law too. They have their own issues. They can be very toxic. It depends on how you're going to handle them and the understanding you have in handling this sensitive issue. Because I have a proverb in Africa that says that if you have a bad wife, it's okay, but you should not have a bad in-laws. They say that. I don't know why. Because they believe that a child that has lived with the in-laws for a very long time has influence, has power over the child, over the son or the daughter that comes into that marriage. So at the end of the day, you just notice that if you are not careful and you don't know how to manage this relationship very well, things will fall apart. And when things fall apart, you will not have the support of the people you have told, or you have told to get out. I just want to be using my words carefully. Or you have shown, because it's like, okay, it's your life, enjoy, that's your life. And of course, wedlock is padlock. The key is thrown to Atlantic Ocean. Now, coming to the issue of mother-in-law. Now, I said if it's the only son or the only child, you have cause to settle. You must understand that that woman is all around that boy or that man. As a matter of fact, when he's getting married, it's not even the mother is not seeing him as living, going. He's seeing him as my son and my daughter. My son knows the way I prepare the meal for him. I prepare ewedu, egusi, traditional food. I know how to do it for my son. I'll keep doing it. It doesn't matter. She's my daughter. She is my son. Let me cook for you. Now, listen and listen very profoundly. Mothers that are looking toxic, they did not have a mind of being toxic. They came into your home to be a blessing. But because of your prejudice, because of your biases, you just come in and resolve to, she's overstepping her boundaries. She's poking her nose. I'm still going to talk about boundaries. I don't think I'll finish this today. Probably I'll do part 2. I'm still going to talk about boundaries. But what I'm saying is, the moment you get into that home, your mother-in-law, especially if your husband is the only child and the only son, and painfully, if your mother-in-law is a widow, you see, look at how complex it is. If your mother-in-law is a widow, widows differs. There are some widows that, when their husband dies, they sleep around. If your mother-in-law is a single parent, single parenting differs. There are some women, as soon as their husband is gone, you know what they do? They start sleeping around. Their husband, they are separated, they are not even divorced properly, and they just keep going from man to man. Such woman, such mother-in-law may not have a dignified reason for holding on to the son, because the son knows that my mother is useless. And if you are hearing me, you are a mother, maybe you are separated or you are divorced, please do it well. Be clean about it. If you are going to get married, let the whole world know you are getting married. If you are going to choose another person, let your children know, carry them along. No, don't do anything behind that will insult your dignity and your honor as a woman. I'm saying this intentionally. Most women, I may not finish this today because I'm speaking from my heart. Most women that find themselves having to now lose their sons and their daughter to their wives and to life, it's not that they want to, but because they don't have dignity, they don't have honor, they've messed up their integrity as a mother, they will lose their sons. Listen to me, you will lose your son. Not only your son, you will lose your daughter. Make a decision to be straight and be clean, no matter the pressure. I know it's not going to be easy when you have to be, taking all the responsibility, the financial involvement and all of that, and even the emotional emptiness. Most women are not even committing adultery because of looking for money, as it were. Some are desperately looking for love and affection, and the vacuum, the emptiness, they want to fill it. But what I'm saying is, if you are looking at the future and you look at the bigger picture, and you look at your life as a generation, as a model, as a mentor, as someone that at the end of the day you will be able to stand up and stand out and speak the truth to your children in love and say, no, you can't say this, you can't do this, did you get it from me? I stood my ground. Now, all this I'm saying is encapsulated in mother-in-laws. If she's the kind of a mother-in-law that has sacrificed, maybe the husband is dead, maybe you didn't have any, she was not privileged to be married, only had you. That's why when you are doing counseling, it is different stroke for different folks. Please don't ever use the same method or yardstick. If you have a mind of doing ministry, counseling people, talking to people, don't ever use one method to take responsibility in ministering or talking to people. They are different people, different stroke for different folks, different stories, different background, different upbringing. That is on a side for people who are willing to become a counselor one day. Please don't ever merge anything when it comes to counseling. Now, coming to in-laws, now mother-in-law especially, maybe I'll do this part one as for mother-in-laws. Now, listen to me carefully. If your husband is your wife, or let me start with the man, with the female now. If your husband, as a woman, your husband is the only son, is the only son of a widow, the only son of a single parent, and your mother-in-law single-handedly raised the children without compromising, having to do chores, having to labor, having to sacrifice, not having friends, having to deny herself. That's what I'm saying. Deny herself of the pleasure of the world when others are going to parties, when others are doing other things, and she just refused bluntly and said, no, my children. When you are married to that kind of a man, please be understanding enough to know that you are marrying a man that has strong emotional attachment to the mother. There's nothing you can do about it. So listen, work on something called balance and boundaries. I'm a very balanced person, but I'm laying a foundation for you to understand that no matter what it is, if your husband is this in the picture of what I've just talked about, then you need to understand deeply that there's a strong emotional attachment to your husband from his mom. Now, I'm going to talk to mothers. I can't finish this. We have to do part 2, part 3 of toxic in-laws, because this is becoming comprehensive and is expanding in my heart. Now, coming back to your mother-in-law, if she has done all to keep, to sustain, to send her children to school, you have to come with a lot of understanding. Please don't see her as mommy is too nosy, mommy is getting involved, mommy wants to do this. If you do that, you see, one thing I've learned in my life and has kept me going is the fact that anything you sow, you will reap. If you have a male child and you show your male child so much love, and at the end of the day the child cuts you off because of a woman, is a seed you are sowing. And I've noticed a demonic generational pattern that a woman will stop the mother of the husband to relate with the children, and the children takes the baton and stop her own children to relate with her mother-in-law, the mother of the husband. Then how do you think you will stop the flow, not passing the baton to your children? We have to be wise when we are making decisions. We have to understand the dynamics of seed time and harvest. If you sow it, honestly, you will reap it. It's not anybody's fault. It's a law that God has set in motion after the flood. God said, I'm not going to do anything to cause anybody to, I'm not stressing myself. I want to rest. Sow it, repeat. Sow it, repeat. Do it, get it. Press down, shake it together, running all over will come back to you. When that law is set in motion, or is set in motion already, you don't have a problem. Be good, you are going to have good. Be bad, you are going to have bad. When you are depriving your children from reaching out to their mom, the mother of your husband, at the end of the day, one day you'll be shocked that what is going on? I'm not seeing my children, I'm not seeing my grandchildren. Is a seed you have sown. Now let me explain this to you. If your mother-in-law is a sacrificial woman, she did not sleep around, she did not do anything, she focused on raising the children, your husband and the siblings, to an extent that they became somebody in life. Please appreciate that woman, celebrate that woman, value that woman. You are sowing a seed. Let me give you a practical example of what happened. I have to, I do a lot of counseling. I'm a therapist, I'm a family counselor, and I had to handle a particular episode that was very KNOWTY, naughty. It's going to be interesting, just listen. After the wedding, the mother-in-law, she's a widow. I told you, if your mother-in-law is a widow, or your husband is the only child, or is the only son, the only child, the only son, or raised by a single parent, maybe she was never married, she single-handedly raised her children, all those things are in her subconscious. She's going in, she's even apprehensive, she's bothered, she's thinking, this girl now, if she comes, will she not push me away? Will I still have attention with my son? Will I still have time with my son and all of that? She had that at the back of her mind. I'm still going to talk to mother-in-laws. Please, if you are privileged to watch this, watch it again. Go back to my YouTube channel, go back to my Instagram, it's going to be saved there. Reach out to people that you know that they will listen to it. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be speaking Yoruba, but you can interpret for them. Now, if you have a mother-in-law like that, I'm telling you a story, I can't forget that. So the woman is the boy is the only child, and the woman is a widow. Now, after the wedding, they had a big wedding, societal wedding, everybody was happy. So they went for the honeymoon. The mama stays in the son's house. That's another boundary. I'm still going to talk about that. Stays in the son's house. So when they brought the wedding album, the pictures, the one they will hang, the albums came and all the pictures, and it was the photographer that brought the albums home, and the couples were still in the honeymoon. They are not yet back. So the grandma, the mother-in-law, arranged the pictures in the living room, put her son's picture, her own picture in the middle, and the daughter's picture on a side. Then she now puts where husband and wife is underneath. The way you rectangularly puts the picture on the wall. So when they came back from the honeymoon, you know how people think and how sensitive women are. She just looked up to the wall and saw that my mother-in-law's picture is still in the middle. You understand what I'm trying to say? Not the couple's picture. Husband separate, wife separate. The mother-in-law put a picture in the sitting room, in the living room, where everybody will come in to see. So she called me, she was shivering, she was crying. I'm in trouble. My mother-in-law is a witch. The story was everywhere. And I just smiled. I said, tell me about your mother-in-law. She said, she has been living with him. He's been living with him all these years. The husband is dead. And I have told my fiancé when we're going to get engaged that she should go and get a house for the mother. You are just sleeping. You are not fair. I don't want to say you are not wise. Go and look for a house for an old woman. Do you know something? I'm coming back to that. So when she's finished talking, she said, my husband will say, after God is my mother is my God. Story, the man has really vented a lot of emotions to the life of that of that fiancé, and he asked her, please, if you want to love anything, love my mom. If you hate my mom, we can't flow, because she's all I've got. She's been there for us. She's the one that paid the bills. She, we do chores, we sell, we hawk. She made us, she hawk so that we can feed, and all those emotional tantrums. So she told me everything. When she spoke for almost 2 hours, I kept quiet. She was weeping, she was hysterical and all of that, but I had to listen. And I said, is it possible for you to listen to me? That's why when I do counseling, we have an oath of commitment to listen, because there's no point wasting people's time when at the end of the day you are not going to adhere to the counsel and the information you're giving. It's a waste of time, it's a waste of energy for any counselor that is schedule is tight, as it were. So I made her to make an oath that she will listen, she will obey hook, line and sinker, and she will allow me to mentor her. So I told her, I said, don't touch those pictures. Don't touch those pictures. She said, what? Maybe she has watched a lot of movies, that speaks ill of mother-in-laws and all. I said, don't touch it. I said, you know what? As soon as you get back from the moon, I know you are back from the moon, what you are going to do tonight, after talking to me, clean your face, wipe your face, be happy, go to mama's room, lay her bed for her, turn on the AC. You must have known her favorite food. I asked. She said mama likes amala, ewedu and begiri. That is the kind of cultural food we eat in Africa. And she said, but it's late. I said, no, it's not late. This is your first inlet to that house after the wedding. It was from the wedding that you went to the moon. Please do this for yourself. And I'm so happy that she listened. Obedience shortens your journey. Obedience is better than sacrifice. So hacking is better than the fat of ram. A lot of people does not know that obedience shortens their journey. The journey of 200 years, you can take it in one day if you can just obey. And guess what? She summoned her health and all of that. And her husband, I said, don't let your husband know or notice. Women, if you cannot be matured, if you react all the time, if you cannot know how to put yourself together, you are not a woman. No. That's why I said baby should not marry baby and give birth to baby. The baby is crying, the mommy is crying, the husband is crying. Who is going to apologize to who? Is going to say sorry to who? We need to be very, very careful. So I told her, I said, your husband must not sense it, because you know what? This is your first day in your home. The moment your husband perceives a reaction to the picture, a seed has been sown. That can separate that marriage, and that can cause a divorce. I've seen horrible things that separates marriage, and you will not believe it. Not adultery, not infidelity, please. Things that look so little, so small, that will cause a permanent damage in a relationship. So I just told her, don't let your husband know anything. Go to the kitchen, act as if you want to make dinner for everybody, and do amala, ewedu, begiri, mama's favorite, and set the table and serve her while you're on the dining table. I know you portion the meal, you know how we eat in depending on our homes, but the way we eat, we put the main food, the different portion, we portion it in a big bowl, then you take it as you wish. I said, serve grandma, make sure you serve her, give her more than enough. She should be the one that will say, oh mommy, is enough, my daughter, that's enough. I said, grandma, eat, please eat. Nobody, we have not cooked for you, we have gone to the moon. Bring life. It's common sense. Bring life to this. We've not been together. We're just coming in. I'm sure, what have you been eating? Who is taking care of my mother for me? Treat her like a queen, like a princess in her kingdom. Make her feel that you are not threatened at all. Listen to me. You cannot be threatened by your mother-in-law. There are things your mother-in-law will do for your husband that is only you, that she cannot do. The ones she can do is to cook for him. He can't sleep with him. He can't kiss him. He can't have sex with him. Have sex sleep with him. So, excuse me, he cannot even meet his emotional needs. You are the one. You are in charge. Don't stress yourself. Calm down, relax, and enjoy your home. And after serving, she went to the room, cleaned the kitchen. They don't have a help. Grandma wanted to pay. I said, no, mommy, no, my mother, don't. No. I'll do all the packing. I'll take care of everything. The mother was wondering, wow. She said the mother-in-law was puzzled, wondering, wow, what's it on? It's finished. I have my daughter. I don't have to be threatened. I don't have to be stressed. That was how Mama relaxed. In the morning, hear me and hear me good. This is a true story. Probably I'll pull that person up to share her story while we're on live. So you will know that I'm not just cooking up stories. Do you know what happened? I was shocked. She said, she was the one that brought out the album. I danced. Because they brought the album with the video, watched the video and did everything. And he said, oh mommy, did I display this picture very well? The daughter said, now don't forget, she has become a daughter-in-law, not a daughter-in-law. She just said, no, everything is fine. Grandma is fine. See how beautiful you are. The makeup artist tried. That. And she just make everything okay. And guess what? When the husband came, the husband did not notice anything. It was the husband that said, mommy, this picture, we have to rearrange it. Why are you standing in the midst of the two of us? Let's arrange it. The mother did not even bother. And I can bet it in my thoughts. I have a feeling that the mother-in-law did it intentionally. Probably. Because if you are not intentional, how would you come in between husband and wife when they are married? You signed at the registry, you have done everything you want to do. So why would you do that? She must have been intentional about it. And let me say this to everyone here today. Things that happens to us most of the time is a test of our character, test of loyalty, test of commitment. When you fail that test, it's going to stress your home, and your marriage does not have to be stressed. That is a way to handle your mother-in-law. Please trace where she's coming from. Check her background. Listen to what these children have said about her. If they say, mommy, or buru, we have even called her a witch one day. You've heard, but don't use it to react. Because you know one thing people don't understand. Even if your mother is a witch, nobody wants any other person to help him to call the mother a witch. May your mother not be a witch. But even if she has issues, that is, or has brought shame to the family, nobody still wants to be told that my mother is a witch. Now, women, ladies in the house, don't ever feel insecure in your marriage. Your marriage is your marriage. Go there with an open heart. Go there. Now, I'm saying this because a lot of women, like I said, go with an open heart. A lot of women, they go into marriage, relationship with their spouses, and they have already cut off with everybody. Now, we have a culture in Africa when you are getting married into a family. Funny enough, please, if you are a man and you are hearing me, don't ever take your wife to your mother to live with her or your families. No, please get a room. Marriage is honorable. Bed undefiled. You must buy bread. Don't go back home and bring your wife to your family house. You have destroyed the foundation of your marriage. Clear. You've messed things up. Basically, this is professionally speaking. You cannot afford to bring your wife to where your mom or your dad lives. Even if it's a part of the compound, or they just built a nice boys quarters for us, self-contained, get out of the house. The Bible says, therefore a man will leave his father and his mother and cling to his wife and cleave. I said clinged intentionally to his wife, and the two will become one flesh. If you are not manly enough to rent an apartment, don't get married. Please don't. You won't have a home. Do you know what it means to start a home? Now you are getting married. 14 invincible people are going into marriage. 14 people you don't see is going into marriage. There is still need for adaptability, adjustability in relationship. There is need to bend, to bend, to each other, to have synergy, to sync. There's still need for it. Now, when the wife wakes up, maybe she's the lazy type or she doesn't clean the house, and your mother-in-law lives in the house, let's be practical here. It's unrealistic, it's not fair on any woman bringing her to that house to come and live with your mom, to come and do what? She can't, she won't live, she won't be free, she'll be under a siege, she'll be psychologically stressed. If she's the kind of a person that maybe when her period comes, she feels uncomfortable, she has this cramp and all of that, and she's just adapting to the new life, your mother will assume she should have been up, clean the house. Excuse me, don't try it. If you are not manly enough to get your room, even if it's a room that has face me and slap you, don't get, you know, we say that in Africa. I don't want to localize this topic now. Face me and face you, where you have to just have a room and you share bathroom, you share toilet, you share kitchen with someone, it's still okay. Don't ever bring your wife to your mother's house to live after wedding. It is an abomination, it is unscriptural, it is unethical, it is against, I'm sure it is not, it's against any norm. Because now, like I said, she's trying to have a period, she's trying to adjust. Maybe you said something, 7 stages in marriage, 14 invisible people going into marriage. She was trying to just clear her head. Maybe there's still a lot of debts, hangovers from the wedding. You are now bringing, and so you are not even making her to breathe. Please don't bring your wife to your parents' home. Not even when they have built a house for you. Go and get a house outside where they have built for you. Start your life, be clean, let it be a clean life. Apart from that, some even believe that because they are going to a church, you are a father-in-law, you are in that house too. Do everything to give your daughter-in-law space. Let them breathe. They are not coming to your life, they are starting their own life. The question is, even if culture or your own tradition allowed you to stay with your in-laws, did you find it easy? Why must you repeat a pattern? Why do you want to continue and perpetuate what you have suffered? Oh no, when I got married, I was with my mother-in-law. You are not a slave, you are not a house help. You are a wife to a man. So you have to do the cooking. Listen, let me be honest with you. If you are in that kind of situation, please let your husband watch this video. It's not fair. You cannot enjoy it. Even if now, let's assume that the moment you got married, you got pregnant, you find yourself missing your period. So you have to go through the 9 months of vomiting, restlessness, sleeplessness in the midst of strangers. No, don't put any woman to that stress. I've spent 45 minutes. Wow, and I'm just going for 1 hour. Now, let me take questions. Can you... Good evening everyone. Please, can I have few questions on the screen, maybe on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram? If you have any question, please bring it up. I told you I can't finish it now. We're still going to talk about healthy boundaries. I've told you at the beginning, remove your mental belief. Change the paradigm of your mindset about in-laws. It's not all of them that are bad. Now, let me come to your sister-in-law or brother-in-law. Can I say this to all of us here? Most of us need to know, all of us, we need to know where we are all coming from. If your husband is the firstborn and he had 5 others to take care of, to nurture, you know he has responsibility. A man that is responsible is not some men, some firstborns don't care what happens. But if you know that they were raised in one, they are raised as one, they are bonded, and the parents has instilled in their hearts that you have to take care of your siblings, you have to take care of your brother, your sister, you have to make sure. That's why you see firstborn, they are dynamic, they are very strong, because they know they have a lot of family responsibility. If that is the case, as a woman, you must understand, you must never stand in the way of your spouse helping his siblings, because what has been on ground is you have to take care of your brother, you have to take care of your sister. That is the foundation. That's why I said at the beginning of this episode, understand the culture. Every home have their culture. Understand the family culture, the background of where your spouse is coming from. It will help you. If you don't know, ask questions. Let your spouse tell you about her mom and his mom, her dad and his dad, vice versa. As a woman, especially, we have issues with mother-in-law a lot, because there are 5 women in the life of every man. 5 solid women in the life of every man. The wife, I use 5 fingers like this. It's like 5-fold ministry. That is the wife. This is the big finger. Then the sister, junior or senior. Then the long hand is a strange woman, somebody that is extremely strange. Then we have the love hand, where you put your wedding ring. That's where the mother is. Then we have the daughter. You could see that the mother played a very powerful role in these 5 fingers. But you know what happens? You can hold all of them like this. If you know how to manage your husband, you know how to manage your sister-in-law, you know how to manage your mother-in-law, you know how to manage the strange woman, honestly, your mother-in-law will be fine. Let me tell you another story of how men are being manipulated by mother-in-laws. Men can be manipulated. I give you an example of a case, true story, true people. I would try and get 1 or 2 people to come and share their experiences with you on this program, if they don't mind. But sometimes people want to keep their family secrets to avoid being confronted about stuff. But if you feel you are comfortable to share, please, I will appreciate it. Your questions, I'm waiting. Now, there was a case that was handled. Unfortunately for the girl, the sister-in-law did not have a home, left her husband, so everybody had to tabernacle or stay in the brother's house. And the sister-in-law wants to take over the kitchen. If you're a sister-in-law, you are hearing me, don't take over any kitchen. Go and keep your home. I'm not saying it for your wife, your husband, your brother's wife to say. I'm the one saying it. Go and keep your home. Go and work on your marriage. Don't come and take charge. It's not your home. Your brother's wife's home is his home. You must respect boundaries. You can't jump into their kitchen, jump into their dining, jump into their bedroom and just do gra. You can't do that. If you are the kind of a person, you are losing dignity and honor. Is extremely important. I want to take questions. I feel like taking questions. There's a story I want to share. If I start it, I have like 15 minutes to leave and I might not be able to finish it. Now, hear me. If you're a brother-in-law and you have a sister-in-law, I know you have her as number 5 women in the life of every man. Your sister is there. Please caution her. She can't afford to be rude to your husband, or sorry, your wife is very rude. You can't afford it. Now, if a man honors his siblings, if you honor your wife, let me put it this way, if as a man your siblings respect you, they should respect your wife. They should honor your wife. Set that standard. And why, please, I'm still going to talk about that. You have to honor yourself, respect yourself. But if your brother's wife is your brother's wife and you respect your brother, respect that person. Don't treat her as if she's nobody. No, give her her honor, give her her space. Let her feel warmed, feel wanted, feel the warmth of a good and a healthy home. That's how it is. You don't forget you're also sowing a seed. You're going to get married somewhere. And if you don't sow a good seed to your sister in love, you're going to reap exactly what you sow. Don't forget, when we harvest our seed, we don't harvest it alone. Press down, shaking together, running all over. You're going to take more than what you have actually sowed. So you have to be extremely careful in dealing with your in-laws. Now, if possible, like when I got married, my mother-in-law does not want me to call them by name. That's the culture. So I call my sister-in-law sister. It doesn't change anything. She's older. She's as old as my sister. A lot of us, we are, like I told us, this prejudice, these biases. Now, I'm not saying, oh, let me digress a little bit. Can I say this to every man in this house today? If the moment you are married, the moment you are dating somebody, tell them everything. Tell her everything about your home. Tell him everything about your home. You know, we are living in a world of secrecy. I'm not saying tell him the gory ones, but tell them, I have a sister, she's troublesome. I have a brother, he's naughty. I have a sister that steals. I have a sister that does prostitution. Now, you are not saying it for that person. If your wife is smart and is intelligent enough, you are not saying it so that you now, oh, what kind of family is this? They are robbers, they are prostitutes. That's not it. He or she, or I have one that is strong-willed, very stubborn, very nasty, very rude. He can disgrace you anywhere. He can shout you down anywhere. These are the information you need to give to your spouse. Prepare their minds for what they are expecting. My husband said to me, this person is this. I've known their characters even before we got married. So it makes it easy for me not to be confrontational. I had my low-key life. And I knew I was sowing a seed too. Because I know to an extent, the moment you open your mouth and respond back, you have declared a war, a cold war, a World War III. God forbid, we won't have World War III. But the point is that you are setting yourself for battle in your relationship. And listen to me, the moment any of your in-laws feel uncomfortable about you is a setup for disaster. Because it means that there's a limit to the conversation you can have with your spouse when it comes to the family issues. That's another issue that you need to understand. Now, if your mother-in-law or in the system, you study the system, they don't call them by names, look for a pet name, look for a love name. It doesn't change anything. Well, we are living in a better culture, but when we got married, you cannot call your sister-in-law, even if you are older than her. You can't call her by name. That's a barbaric one. I'm not into that. But if that is what you met in the family, and that is the structure, that is the culture also, that is what they do there, you better learn it, because you are married into a family. Now, what about the issue of we have to spend Christmas with our parents-in-law, this and that? There must be an agreement. Now, let me balance this because I'm living in the next 6 minutes. Let me say this to us. The moment there's a good communication in your relationship, if anything that has to do with your in-laws should not be a problem, because maybe it's a tradition, it's a culture that every Christmas you must travel out of your state to go to grandma or to grandpa's house. It has been a norm. Now, you two, you have a family. Maybe you two, you want to have your family together. What you can do is tell your husband this year, or agree together, or you split yourselves. There must be an agreement. The Bible says two cannot work together except they agree. That is the tenet of my own faith and belief. And I try not to be religious when I'm handling cases like this, so everybody will enjoy the liberality that is involved in relationship. Be liberal. Now, if there's an agreement, okay, Christmas we go to your mom, New Year we go to my dad, is that okay? Now, the point is, women, please protect your husband with your in-laws. Men, protect your wife with your in-laws. Even if there are issues, try and cover him up. Because listen, I said this and I'm saying it here on this platform. Everybody grows, everybody matures. Everybody grows, everybody matures. By the time you expose your spouse, all the weaknesses, you expose that woman or that man to the public domain of the family, not a problem. The man will grow, the woman will grow, the man will mature, the woman will mature. So how do you handle the exposure? The way you have sold her out to them as not good, as prejudiced, as biases, as hateful. I'm still going to direct my message to mother-in-law. This, I'm just generalizing it. Like I said, I'm going to have part 2 or part 3, depending on the grace I have and the privilege I'm able to, the privileged time that I have available. I'm going to do that because I noticed that so many men and women, they are not relating with peace with their in-laws because they believe it's toxic. Now, the toxic one, we're going to talk about that. If you are hearing me and you are the kind of a person that there's nothing anybody does that you appreciate, you are thankful for, you are always looking for something that is wrong, that's a demonic thing. Please, can you make everybody around you comfortable? Can you stop rationalizing, try to analyze until you are paralyzed, about our gestures, our reactions, our actions. Excuse me, life is easy. The moment you are relating with someone that you're not comfortable, you are on eggshell, or you choose to be on eggshell, or you're on eggshell, it's not going to be peaceful. Try and make yourself open, be gentle, be nice. No, put yourself in that shoes. I've said some things to some mother-in-law, some daughter-in-laws there. Let me say it. I have 3 minutes to go and I'm really, really rushing. Hear me now. If your mom is tough and your mother-in-law is tough, are you going to change your mom? You're going to live with her the way she is. Somebody told me in this set of the School of Ministry, maybe she's watching now, she said, my mother-in-law, I did everything. You know, she was ranting on Saturday. It was, you could see her, she was so upset about the episode of her mother-in-law. And I asked her a question. I said, tell me, because we have started teaching on trace it, face it, erase it, and start replacing it. If you are listening to me, the Women College of Ministry is still resuming. We have been called, have been begged to do another session for you on Saturday. So if you want to join us, you can join us on Saturday. Send me a DM and tell me you want to be part of the School of Ministry. You will enjoy it on Zoom. If you want to come physically, the classes happens in Ibadan. We have all our classes in Ibadan. You can join us. And if you feel you want to actually do it on Zoom, our Zoom classes is as good as, you know, having it physically. Now, what I'm going to do, what I decide to do for the people that missed last week episode is to give you the link to watch. So I won't have to do 2 hours before 12 to 4. So we'll resume normally on Saturday. Next Saturday, we are resuming again. So if you felt that you are going to miss, of course you are missing, and you know that this information will stop deformity in your life, do everything to send me a DM so that you can join us next Saturday. Now, I made a statement. If your mom is as tough or tougher than your mother-in-law, are you going to kill your mom? Tell me the wisdom you are using to manage your mother. Use that same wisdom to manage your mother-in-law. Can I be honest with you? Honestly speaking, if your mother-in-law is tough, you can break her. By the grace of God, by next week, if I have the privilege to come back, I'm still going to do part 2. I have so much on the inside of me to share with you about your mother-in-law, your in-laws, not only mother-in-law, your in-laws, young, old, everybody around you. And you'll be so shocked that the reason why you are having so much pressure dealing with these people is because you don't know some things. My mother used to say that if it's the way you know how to behave that you behave. I still need to interject it with my cultural language so that you can at least take something in. You can't live better if you don't know better. Whatever is giving you pressure is a sign that you don't know. I said something. I said pain is telling you to change. Pain is saying change. Pain is not an enemy, is a friend. When you have any form of discontentment about anything in your life, it calls for change. Wow, no questions. I don't know if a lot of people are not asking questions today. Well, I appreciate the time you've given me to reach out to you and just air this truth to you. By this, maybe next week Wednesday would, not maybe, I'm promising next week Wednesday I'll do another one. I had something in mind to do. I will let you know. Please follow me on Instagram page. My handle is funkeadetuberu. Check the notifications so that you know. Then subscribe to my YouTube channel. Everyone subscribe. You will enjoy the beat of every information that is being passed across. Thank you so much for allowing me to be. You can wave and say bye-bye. We can wave. We wave. Say bye-bye. Thank you for sending your love. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I'll see you next time. Let me say next time. Thank you.